Hello. Hi. I figured out my mic volume issue from last week. So I'm just double checking that my mic's not distorting, because I've had to change all my settings again. Hi, Joe. Hi, Madda. Hi, everybody. I'm just putting the things. I'm just putting the thing. I'm doing the thing. Hi, Harrison J. If you guys can just give it a share quickly as well for me. How are you all doing? What have you all been up to, huh? Well, if your mic keeps distorting, Scott, sort it out. Lower the levels. That's what we're here for. If you have got a bona fide issue with it, please join the Discord. And I thought it would be fine. I was just checking though. Because it could be your microphone. So we'll need to know a few things, like, is it a condenser mic? Is it a dynamic mic? Hi, Kelly. Is it big? Is it small? Is it, stuff like that. So I'm just in Discord. In Discord. At everyone. Copy paste. I need to do one of these little coding programs where I just do, if this then that. If that then this. Just so I can press one button on my Stream Deck or something, and then it just sends out this push notification that I'm online to all of my platforms. But we dream on. And then I just need to add because do you know what the issue is? If you put a hyperlink in your post, it will decrease the engagement, or it will decrease the reach of it. So what you have to do is write your post and go back into your post and put the link in the comments. First world issues. I know. It sounds like, oh, what is that it? But when you do it every single day. Oh. Hello, official carbs. Okay, I think I've done them all now. Did I do Amazon? Did I do Instagram? Let me just do Instagram. Done. Okay. Stop whining and crank some tunes. I know, right? Oh, I've got a cup of tea here. I forgot about that. I hope it's not cold. No. Joe, you'll have to message me afterwards about that. We'll have to see. But send me a private message. I'm just warning you, though, things like that aren't very cheap. So just to let you know. Hello, Kelly. Yes, I have a cup of tea, and I'm on a diet at the moment. We will get into the music in a minute, I promise. But I'm doing a intermittent fasting diet right now. So I'm allowed to eat for 4 hours of the day. And the 4 hours that I find best for me to eat. Hello, Kelly. Nice to see you. I start eating at about between 2 and 3 p.m. And then that means I can eat till like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. Oh, it's 6 now. Oh no. So I get to stuff my face with whatever I want to eat for 4 hours. But then you just can't eat for 20 hours. And I love that. I look forward to those 4 hours. Right. Now we've done the niceties. Official carb says fuck that. What time of the day can I have a carvery? It's between 2 and 7 at the moment. We will sort that out at some point, Nikita. We went at the weekend actually with my friend Jackie. But I remember you saying that you wanted to go in the week. I'm really, really busy at the moment. But I reckon we could probably get it in a couple of weeks' time. I hope you guys are good. Okay, so just to really make us all feel amazing about our shitty fucking music that nobody wants to listen to because we're all such stupid dummies, the first song that we're going to listen to is going to be a new Kid Dynamo track. He sent us another one, and he just makes them. He just makes them, like, he just sends them in. He's like, oh, hi, I've just made another song again. Oh, yeah, I've made like 7 today, and they're all really good. So I just thought it'd be really good for us to listen to it, you know, so we can all dream. Here we go. Here's Kid Dynamo, and this is called Just You. was Kid Dynamo, and that was called Just You. Hello, Bosky. Bosky says, I'd love a bit more movement on that acid. Cool. I really liked the pattern of that acid line. I've been in the studio with Kid Dynamo a few times. I don't think he's in right now, but one thing that I took away from our time in the studio, or one of many things, was his method when doing an acid line. So, like, for me, if I was going to use my TD3, you could program it in from the TD3, or if you've got Roland Cloud, you can do it from inside the box on there, or of course you can just put it into the piano roll and do it that way. And there's even ways round to have like the accent notes work, weak notes, that kind of thing. But which means more flexibility then. So you're not bound by 16 steps. And what I liked about when I was in the studio with Kid Dynamo was how he links up the MIDI signal from the TD3 to go into his, I can't remember what keyboard it is now, but it's like a Yamaha, say like it's a Yamaha PSR blah, but whatever it is. Quite a lot of keyboards will have these things that you can do with it. It's got an arpeggiator on the keyboard, so he presses the notes on the keyboard, which is running through the MIDI through on the TD3. Hi, Rennie. And then by doing it like that, you can swap and change around, like on the half notes where the arpeggiator starts from, for example, or change the steps up, change the steps down, and it allows for a bit more like creative freedom. Albeit, like, it won't probably sound traditional in the sense of it being bound to 16 steps. And I don't know if there's a way that you can change the 16 to be 32 or I don't know. But I just liked that as a kind of like, because he's very old school and very hardware based. So going in the studio with him is like, for me, very, very interesting to see the way that he works. So yeah, like that's just, I'm just saying all of that because it if anyone makes their own acid lines in tracks, it's a great way to bring more variety. I don't know who Sophie is, my darling. I'm not sure. She sounds cool though, if she's a sound engineer. He makes unique electronic music, brilliant. But I don't know who Sophie is. You can, but all the old hardware is 16 or 64. Well, so you couldn't do 34. Is it like 16 up to 16 up to 64? That's good. That's cool. It is an easier way of working, I find, because some people. Oh, what a shame! I'm really sorry to hear that. Doobie is a cow. Oh, if you can whisper me like some links, and I'll go and check her out. You won't be able to put anything in the chat. What a shame. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that about different ways that you can hook up your hardware. Something as simple as a bassline synth like a TD3, it makes all the difference, and it allows you to have some kind of like imprint of your own sound in that music then, and that's very important for me because I find it difficult to remember what word it is I want to use. I find it difficult sometimes to commit to a sound or an idea. So for me, having hardware and writing something in, recording something in, like manually, helps me to make better creative decisions around that. Otherwise I can get lost in messing around in whatever synth it is. Having hardware and only being able to record it once, then the parameters get reset. Do you know what's quite good about this, for example? I've mentioned it before. This is my little Minotaur, my little mini Moog, and it's what have I dropped now? Doesn't matter. It will only matter when I need it, and I'll look on the floor if I've found that I've lost something. My little Minotaur there. You can get some great sounds out of it, and if you use it along with the software. I can't remember what the software is called now. If you use it with the software, you don't have to. It's just Minotaur Editor. What happens is, once you've been twiddling your knobs for a while, and you find something that you really like, or so like what usually happens is you're gonna go and make a bass line. And then it turns into some kind of lovely lead sound, like some kind of plinky plonky or something. Like, oh, I love that, but it's not what you were after. But you're like, shit. Well, I was supposed to be making a bass line, but now I've got this lovely sound. How am I going to save it? Well, the software that you get with the Minotaur Editor software, it will allow you to save all those presets, but it's also got. It's not like Total Recall or anything like that, so it won't snap back all of your settings on the actual hardware, but what it will do is show you a software like a GUI representation of where all your settings were, so you could possibly get it kind of back to that again. But yeah, it is annoying when things just reset. But that's all part of the fun, isn't it, gang? Yeah? Hi, Jacinta. Hope you're good, babes. But yeah. You just leave. You just leave like every man in my life. Oh, hashtag abandonment issues. Ooh, that's so much better now than on pure hardware. I know I used to take note of what knob does what. That's good. No, that's a good way to work. Or you can just button bash and just like never know what things mean. I remember for years I didn't know what sir and par was. My favourite synth for a long time was one called Alchemy. And then Logic bought it. And now you can't have it. I think I've still got the standalone installers, but I've not tried to install it again since. But Alchemy was like, it's a very in-depth, in a really good way, synth. And it had these two it had a switch. And one of them said sir, which was spelled S-E-R, sir. And then the other one was par, P-A-R. And all I knew was the effects would sound like this when it was this way, and then they'd sound a little bit different when I did them the other way. And guy came down once, and I was like, I'm just trying out sir and pa, and he went, what? I was like, sir and pa. He was like, what are they then? I was like, I don't know, but it just sounds different when I do sir and then do pa. And he was like, do you mean serial and parallel? I was like, oh right. But that's where understanding what everything does is really helpful, because when you get into the realms of synthesis, if you're not already, knowing how to retrace your steps gives you the control that you're after. It saves a lot of time. It lets you just stay in your creative mode without like having to mess around or getting stressed out because you've lost the sound that you were messing around with. And also, and I probably say this every stream about getting into reverse engineering your favorite presets on a synth. So make sure you understand how to get that preset all the way back to its original or most basic waveforms if you can. And then that way you know how to build that sound yourself. So it doesn't mean you have to, because presets are very, very helpful, but it just allows you to have loads of control over layers, sounds, and understanding how to get to those points. I know how to steer beer, says Fuck the System. Yes. Record everything and sample bits. That is a great tip. Hello, it's a Mate's World. How are you doing? Welcome to the demo drop. Yeah, recording everything is a great idea. I think a lot of doors now will have some kind of recording in the background. Like if you're just tinkling and then you just like find a really cool chord progression and you're like, oh yeah, shit, I wasn't recording. Like I know that FL Studio has that running in the background where it will record everything that you're doing in the background. I don't know if it does it audio, but I know that it will do it for like keystrokes or something like that. Stop putting me off, Rennie. Is this your first demo drop? Yay! Yeah, we were just discussing a bit about synthesis there, and hardware. And then we get silly people who just make jokes about wet and dry knobs. Silly. Oh, Hello, Meme Records. How are you doing? I just want to say as well a massive thank you to Fuck This System for 100 bits. Podders, thank you so much for 21 months now. And One Factory Up, Dylan and Tripmunk, thank you very much for following. High 5-1 Dylan. Next tune. Okay, next up we've got Stefano, Ricky, and this is called Feel It. guys, that's Feel It by Stefano Ricky. So thoughts on that, guys? Thank you very much, Griffin, by the way, for resubscribing. I love you, mate. Oh my goodness, it's a Maze World. Thank you so much for gifting a sub. That's 8 now. Oh my goodness, guys, please do yourselves a favour and go and follow It's a Mate's World, because he's number one. He's got the best voice in the whole world. He'll read you bedtime stories if you're lucky, and he's really good at computer games, like flying games, and he likes to pretend that he works for like Ryanair. It's true. It's all true. Like, he made the most boring game seem interesting. Yes. Like, literally, you're just in an aeroplane. But it was the most amazing. If you were my pilot, It's a Mate's World. If I was on holiday, or maybe just a business trip, I don't know, or maybe like my great aunt had just died or something, and I had to like go to the funeral. Oh my God, effort. Like, it would be a fun time if you were my pilot. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Lequer, hey, how you doing? Hi, Gav. So, researching how to get a pilot's license. Oh. Okay. This song, Stefano, I know you've sent stuff in before. I really, really like this one. I love the vocal. I love the laid back feel to it. Technically and like sonically, everything sounds like it's got its place. Personally, if it was mine, I'd probably want to like shape it a little bit more into having its own, like having an identity a bit more in terms of like the genre. And I think that that's probably because I'm a DJ. So I possibly like to define my own music in much more obvious boxes. So that's just my opinion. So if it was mine, I'd probably I'd maybe change the kick. I'd maybe change like the clap a little bit. I'd maybe add a bit more movement to it. And again, like I say, that's probably just me. Or I'd go the other way and make this into a breaks track or ambient, because I think that vocal for me just takes it in any direction you want. It's very uplifting. It's very summery. I love the pads in it. It was nice to listen to, and at points I was kind of drifting away with it as well, which is always a good sign. Drifting away, drifting away, drifting away, drifting away. And that would be my music video to it as well. Hi, Ifonta Pew. Yeah, more punch. Sorry, I'm eating flapjacks. Oh no, I've only got one left. No. Oh, I'm going to have to make this one last. Okay, next up, we've got Madda and Lance next. Madda's in the chat. And this one's called Make It Feel Hot. Hang on. Make It Feel Hot. Okay, guys. That was Madder and Lance. Make it feel hot. Okay. I've written down quite a bit, and I'm going to say it all in one go first before we get on to what other people have said. Yeah, I've looked at the Hogwarts Legacy thing, Geek Out. I'm definitely going to be trying that. Can we get a shout out, please, for Global Awakening, who is Madder? So you guys have done a really good job here. There is, like, the second half definitely sounds more like cohesive, and it all fits together really well. The acid line that is in there is far too thin when the cut-off's been brought all the way up. Like, this is something that I had to get out of the habit of doing as well. I was using my acid lines as being like something that is like mid-high range. So something that I'd have like plinky plonkies in, you know, like, you know, like just sprinkles of like higher frequency sounds. It needs dropping down an octave. Yeah, well, what I wrote was it needs more mids and low mids. So the way that I think about an acid line now is not as an accompaniment, like in the way that it's being used there. Like, it needs to have its own space, and it needs to have body to it. And sometimes that can be taken away by just overusing the cut-off and the resonance. But like you said, it could just be as simple as knocking it down an octave. Brilliant. Okay, so that's one thing. Also, what else have I written? It needs to be more glued together, especially the beginning bit. Let's just have a quick listen to the cowbell. See, that cowbell is far too dry. I don't think it fits that well, and I think it's overused in the track. At around 3 minutes, when we are in the middle of the breakdown, that cowbell sound happens, and it kind of fades out. And the effect that it has is it makes you lose all the energy that you've been building up during this breakdown. So I'll go to it now and you'll hear it. You hear that? So it's obviously like on a bus group or something. So it's all been like brought down. But you hear the dun, 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 and then a bit of the third one, and then none of the fourth one. And the problem with that is you've just lost all the energy. So either leave that out or have some kind of like rise effect in there. You could use Dada Life's... Oh, what's the name of it? Hello, everyone that's just been raided. Hello, hang on. Ni hao. Ni hao to Snow Foxy. How you doing? Yeah, Endless Smile. That's it. Yeah, Endless Smile. I mean, we talk about it a lot on this show. Endless Smile is amazing for this kind of stuff. It would work better in this case right at the end. Guys, please get following Snow Foxy, especially if you're into games. They're so cute. They're just really, really lovely people in that community. And thank you so much for raiding us. Thank you. So that would be the other thing I would do. I'd say lose that cowbell or just don't use it as often because it doesn't really fit. Hello, darling. And it makes the energy like completely dissipate when it's used in that middle bit there. And then It would be better if it just wasn't in there and you had like a snare roll in there instead. Yeah, and then I've just put and use another fill. So maybe even just use another fill or a few. Yeah, it's a Lance thing. I know. But maybe he can make it work. Maybe this is just. Yeah, maybe if you just. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. Nick's in the room. Nick's got a track on the demo drop today as well. So if Nick says that he likes a cowbell, yeah, distort it up. There you go. But yeah, those were the things that stuck out to me on first listen, thinking about this as a DJ. So, you know, like energy and keeping the energy and building upon the energy are the really, really important things that we do. But it's so hard because you have to do it, but then make sure you're doing it in a space that only allows you to go up so high. You've only got a certain amount of, like, it's physics, isn't it? So sound, all of the sounds have got their own space in the frequency spectrum. And then if you put in more sounds on other sounds, and then, you know, like you've got phasing issues and all these things that we have to think about, it's just like, blah. So you've took the lead this time round. Okay, so ask Lance to give you some of his cowbell sounds, or as Nick said, rough it up a bit. You know, like the rest of it, arrangement wise, it's great. I love the idea. It's a nice cheeky track, and I love the riff. Whoever's done that riff needs to, quite frankly, be the riff meister, in my humble opinion. I really like that riff. Yeah, and everything's sitting nice as well, so you should be proud of yourselves. But yeah, thank you so much for sending it in. I know how, like, hard it is to do that. I'm one of the worst for it. You know, letting people hear my stuff before it's done. You know, it's difficult to, like, whenever I used to let people listen to my stuff, I used to just talk all the way through it, go, okay, this bit's not done yet, this bit, just ignore that bit, and then, like, Guy would be there going, just shut up and let me listen to it. Okay, next up we have got hi, Matt Edwards. Gonna try the Fruity Blood Drive on the cowbell. Yeah. Have you got Saturn? Saturn's probably a really good one to use, and it not be overpowering, and you get a lot of control with it as well. You should be sorry that you're late. I'm only joking. It's fine. Yeah, if you've got that, yeah, try using Saturn for it. Saturn's got some good presets for it as well. Do you know what would make a lot of... Yeah, Saturn 2. Saturn 2. Or Saturn 1. Even just adding a tiny bit... I mean, I don't even know if this is a sample that you've got, or if it's a sample that you've got, you could even, like, try bringing up the release in the volume envelope or something, maybe. Or adding a bit of reverb. And just see what happens to the sound of it. Just try and get it to be a little less stuck on, because at the moment it feels like it's just sticking out. It could just be a volume level thing. A triangle dingle or something like that, maybe added on a warped and charged into the vocal, might add another dimension. Wow. A triangle dingle. Nice. Maybe like a tambourine shaker sound or something. Yeah. What are we talking about here? This is the demo drop, my darling. So we are listening to each other's music that we've made and giving each other helpful advice for production. So Nick says, take it out of the bus too if it's in one, so the level is more consistent. Sounds a bit ducky. Yeah, I would hazard a guess that it is in a BRISK group because of the way that it volumed out during that breakdown. Yeah. Do you know what though? I put things like I don't think I've ever used a cowbell, but if I did, I'd be putting it in my percussion bus. But maybe in this instance, that cowbell sound needs to be treated like an effect, if that makes sense. That leads me on to the last thing I was going to say. The effects seemed too high in the mix, which is something that obviously it's an easy fix, but it is something that we all do, especially if effects were the last thing that you were putting in. And we're kind of like, oh, we like the sound of that. We'll just keep the sound up a bit more. But yeah, the effects were a bit high as well. Yeah. And I'm sorry that that's gone on for ages, but it's only because that's definitely something that's going to sound amazing once, little tiny incremental things are done. Yeah, still needs a mix down. Yeah, I mean, I know your stuff, Madda, and I know how good you are at this stuff. And obviously, a majority of this show is about works in progress. So, yeah. But thank you for sending it in, darling. Next up, we have got... Should we do Nick's one next? So we're going to do Nick's one next. While you're all here, I'm going to let you know something really cool. You're welcome, Madda. Thanks for taking it on board, because I know how difficult it is for us sometimes to like take advice. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. Oh, I used to be a nightmare. Like, people would want to help and I'd be like, yes, I know. But it's because I felt very, 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 very attached to it. Like, it made me think that if I couldn't produce well, then there was something wrong with me. And I definitely don't feel like that anymore. And I'm so grateful for people's help and advice, because at the end of the day, that's how we all learn. We all suck to begin with. Well, some of us don't. I've had some of you on here who would be like, oh, I've only been learning for 2 months and you've made amazing stuff. But I think sometimes, like, once you start taking it seriously, then you begin to like go down rabbit holes of like whatever area of music production you go into, and then you kind of like lose sight of what you're doing, realize it's a bottomless, endless pit, which can be fun, but it's also extremely overwhelming. And then you do get it back again. But, all of that is down to us helping each other and giving each other the advice, like, because each of us have got some kind of information that the other person won't have. It's like humping no one's ever always on for. You mean like sex? Is that what humping means? Humping. I've never heard it. Oh my God. Humping. Yeah, no. It doesn't matter. Okay, Nick's. Wow. Okay. Oh, I've lived a shouted life. This is called What the Fuck, and it's by Nick. And Nick made this. Yeah, Rennie doesn't have any information, and yeah, we don't know about things like that. We don't know. We're geeks. We don't do that. Like, it's not even an option. Okay. So. Yeah, cheers, Rennie. So Nick's made this track, and he said in his email that he got inspired by the live streams that we've been doing lately. Now, for those of you who don't know Nick, I play a lot of Nick's music. Nick's been around for time, mother lickers. And it's been really nice to reconnect with you, Nick, and that you've been on the show. And it's all down to Torin, who's listening in the pub at the moment. He's got a track in as well with you that we'll play a bit later on as well. Yeah, Nick Rowland, yeah. From Rowland and Wright and the Coalition. Loads of stuff on Tidy, loads of stuff on like Nuclears, that kind of stuff. And Nick, I'm not pressurizing you, but if you'd like to come on and do like a little bit of a thing with the show and help other people, let me know. But I am, yeah. I'm touring as well. Next week we've got Lab 4 on to help you with your production questions. So Les will be on next week. No pressure. So get your shit into me this week. Was he part of Fat Bloke and Slim? I don't know. He was. I've got some Fat Bloke and Slim songs. Cool. I'd love to get to that stage where I was like, do you know what? I'm not putting this one out on under my own name. I'm going to go under a pseudonym. Yeah. Oh, well, I have got one, but I'm just about to do my first release under that pseudonym. But that's really cool. Yeah, on Nucleus Blue. Yeah, Nick's definitely got a sound, and we're going to listen to Nick's sound, and this is something that he came up with the other day, and I really, really like it. So let's have a listen. Here we go. I absolutely love that. I really, really do. Um, I love the pads in it. I love the melody of that. I love the whole of that breakdown and the stark contrast to the toughness of the techie banging trance around it. And I always use this word, but the juxtaposition of that, it works so fucking well. And also with that, with the vocal as well. Yeah, you can't help but move to that. It's very reminiscent of the old tech trance stuff that I loved and still do love. It's very much that style. Yeah, I would play this in a heartbeat in one of my trance sets, one of my banging trance sets. Really, 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 really liked it. Really liked it. And it's very, it sounds it sounds very simple, but you can hear all like the complexity and the layers, especially like when you're coming into the when you just got the intro and then the outros, and you know, just understanding where to place your sounds. I always found that quite difficult. I'd either overuse them, or I wouldn't know, you know, where to place them. Like in here, you've just literally got a one shot on the acid line here, like I would never be able to do that because I'd be like, no, it needs more of it. But then you can lose it. Sometimes that can like messing it up, and that's what I like about you know, listening to this track is it's reminded me that sometimes less is more. It needs more cowbell. And that whatever it is. Like little things like that is everything. Everything. Really, really liked it. I also like how you panned some of this stuff as well. Really, really nice. And obviously it's gonna sound amazing because it's a Nick Rowland track. But yeah, it's really nice to hear because I would never say who these people are, but there are people whose work who I used to really love, and then they're making some crap stuff now, and I don't know why that is. I don't know what happens, but maybe, you know, people forget how to do it. But this isn't the case here. Nucleus isn't going anymore, as far as I'm aware. Like, I don't think it's been shelved as a label, but they don't think they're actively putting anything out. I don't even know who owns it anymore. Yeah, you need to continue, Nick, and you need to keep sending it in here, please. We will always big you up, mate. Always. This is our little corner of Twitch where we haven't grown up. There's so many people like who are fans of yours, Nick, and Torin as well. And like, I will always champion your stuff. Always. And like right now I am just on a mission to buy as much of my favourite artist vinyl right now, because I have the best setup in the world where I can just play all my... I've got a shipment today of another 100 and I've just started. You won't be able to see it from there, I don't think. You might be able to see it. See, I'll show you. This is my vinyl cleaner here. Can't see it, can you? can't lift it up because it's a bit heavy and it's still got water in it. But all I'm saying is, we'll look after you. A cheesy trance mix of Taylor Swift, Anti-Hero. I've not even heard it yet, but do you know what we'll do? We'll play it at the end of the show. Just remind me. We'll stick it on at the end of the show. No, that's too low now. Hang on. Every time. That wasn't a burp, fraggers. That was my muted yak. It's when I go to burp, but it turns into a bit of a mini hiccup. Ha, fooled you. This isn't a pair of knickers, by the way, in case you were wondering. This is, I went go-karting with my best mate Martin the other week. Last week. Look. And because they've got some amazing electric go-karts, and we got on the last game of the night. They're really fast, really, really fast, and a lot of fun. But me and Martin thought that we'd have the track to ourselves because we thought, oh, all the kids would be gone by then. But then right at the last minute, a load of like young lads came up. There was like 5 of them. And I've never done this go-karting. I've done go-karting a bit in my life, and they'd been going every day, like for the last 2 or 3 days, and they were proper sweaty. Like they weren't happy that me and Martin were on their track because they'd booked the last one as well because they just wanted to have a race between them all. And like you could just tell they weren't happy. Like I was there going, oh hi, we're all going to be in the same race together. Ooh, I wonder who'll win. And they're just like, just fuck off, you fucking weird old woman. And then like when we started racing, one of them like went into the back of me like really, really like hard, like basically telling me, you know, get out of the way because he wanted to go fast. And I was like, not today, Mary. Not today. So I just floored it all the way around. I am very competitive when I want to be. And I came second. Yeah, I came second. I got fastest lap time as well on the second time out. I was like, you are not getting past me. No way. But they just weren't expecting it from a girl, from an old lady. And then I said afterwards, I was like, oh, GG's. GG's. Isn't it past your bedtime now? And they wouldn't even, one of them said, well done. And the other one, and no, he said, well done. He goes, yeah, my mates are just really, really competitive. I was like, I know. Yeah. I even put the scores up on the Discord as well if you want to go and have a look. But yeah, I was like, don't tell Daddy how to fuck. Come on. See if I'm just going to like trundle along like an old granny. But yeah, go to Escape and get yourselves on the go-karts because they're brilliant fun. But yeah, Nick, thank you very much for sending that one in. I really like that. And remind me at the end and we'll play your cheesy song. Did you throw some banana skins? I should have done. Yeah, I should have done. Okay, next up, we've got Delicious, and this is Speechless.
Come on.
Was Delicious, who is in the chat right now as well, and that was Speechless, Je suis sans voix. which means I am without voice, which means speechless. Yeah, very sexy vibes. It's a wee from me too. Yeah, it gave me, it's very reminiscent for me of a producer called Dusty Kid, who used to make some amazing, probably still does, some amazing like minimal techno that I used to be really, really into in around like 2006, 2007. And it's very much this style. Do you use any like hardware, or are you using just synths or samples? I mean, not that it matters. I'm just interested. I'm really interested. I loved the sporadic use of your of like the little one shots. Everything sounded like it has its place. Production was tight. Yes, Nick. Just synths and voice is original. A friend of yours. How wonderful. How wonderful. See, yeah, well, do you know what? It makes it more personal, doesn't it? When you have, if you can sing, then you get to do that already. You get to put something personal into a track. And everyone's got their own way of personalizing their music. I know for Guy, it's his way of, it's two things with Guy. It's his riffs and it's his sound design. And for me, it's sound design. That's like playing something in for me is quite important. And like here, I think the thing is, you've got your friend to do some vocals for you, which I'm presuming would give you then like the feel for the rest of the track, where the rest of the track was going. But it was just so nice to listen to, like near enough perfect. I think as a DJ, the only thing that I would like more is maybe just a more prominent kick or a layer on that kick. But that's only because I'd like to mix in and out of it. So for me, that would, or maybe just like shape the kick so that it's, or side chain it so that it's coming through a bit more. But again, that's just a taste thing for me. Meisha BCX, what is up, girl? Hi. Oh, guys, if you like your drum and bass, you need to go and follow Meisha BCX right now. She's amazing. I love her so much. I'm so grateful that you've given us another raid. Thank you. How was your stream? Hello, Jodie. Hi there. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you so much. You've joined us on the demo drop today. Hello, love. Hello, love you. Hello, lovely, lovely, lovely. I love you, babe. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll give you another shout out. Yeah, please get following Meisha BCX, guys. Very, very talented producer as well. And she uses trackers, or she uses a tracker door, which is like, remember the old school ones that went from like down upwards? Like one of those. I never actually used one of those, but I remember seeing people using them. And yeah, it's just lovely to see that people still use them. Yeah, tracker weirdo! Is it Renoise you use, isn't it? Yeah, Nick remembers trackers. There you go. Every Sunday D&B stream on Meisha BCX Twitch channel. Yes. Meisha, send me the link that you're trying to put in the chat there. Hang on. Actually, I'm going to VIP you and then you'll be able to add a link. Hang on. Wait there and you'll be able to do it now. You should have a VIP status now, my love. Amiga days. Yeah, a little bit before my time. I started on Cubase 5.2 VST. Yeah! VIP bitch now. Yeah, renoise.com. Yeah. Yeah, I liked Cubase, but when the version that I learned on, we didn't even have an audio pool. We rewired it with Reason for the NN19 sampler, and you used to have to program in your MIDI notes. I mean, I'm talking like nearly 20 years ago now, 18 years ago. And then I didn't bother learning it for a long time. And then when I got back into it, I think it was FL 11. But now I use FL and Ableton. Cubase always felt like using Microsoft Excel. Hey, Gravekeeper. Cubase 2.8. Oh, FL Gang, yeah. And also Dance EJ. Oh, where's my thingy? Hang on. Oh, there it is. We had this out not long ago. This is one of my old sound collections, my Dance EJ sound collection. From when I was about 13 years old. That CD's missing. No surprise, got that one. But yeah, and they're still really good. They are. But do you know what? I mean, a friend of mine uses Acid Pro. Kid Dynamo uses Acid. And he gets really good results out of it. I think what happens these days is well, from my personal experience, I have become extremely overwhelmed with the limitless capabilities of technology these days. It really, really stifles creativity for me. I wrote a track in Excel by accident off my head once, thought I loaded up Reason. Mate, splice can be overwhelming. My samples library. Yeah, it's your best yet, Torin. The samples that I've collected over the years, I worked it out that I wouldn't even be able to listen to them all. And I'm sure a lot of you producers are the same. I wouldn't be able to get through and listen to all of them if I sat here and started now and listened to them all by the time that I would most likely die, hopefully, in my 80s or whatever. Like, there's that many of them. But, that in itself can be overwhelming. Is to decide not to be overwhelmed and just set limits to yourself. Also, building your own library helps creating trademark sound. Major BCX. So true. Absolutely agree with that. It's really important. Like, I have a folder that I just collect sounds in. And I tell this to my students as well. When I've done some production tutorials, I've said very, very similar to that. Like, I'll rip stuff from vinyl, ideas that I've listened to, noises that I like the sound of, riffs that I've made, melodies. It might not, like, that project that I was working on might not even have, like, it may never be finished, but in order to preserve the ideas within that project and not leave them in a folder somewhere, I would always bounce it to audio and then also have the MIDI of that as well. When I was doing music full time, I used to have a 5-minute rule for finding and EQing sounds. That's a really good idea. That's a really, really good idea. Yeah. And then moving on, because you get ear fatigue anyway anytime after that. Even quicker if you're compressing stuff. A nice sounding refrigerator compressor. I have ears. I've got 2 of them. Yeah. I have a in this one and a in that one, but I still have ears. Do you know, I've never really liked Splice. I liked Splice for the one thing that I found Splice quite good for was finding like some vocals. But I don't really. You have your go-tos, don't you? You have your favourites. I must admit, like, well, okay, so before I got Phalanx, Phalanx is brilliant. Like, Phalanx is a really great sampler. And it comes with the most amazing sound library ever. But before that, I would probably like find most of the stuff I'd need in the Dave Parkinson like sample packs for certain types of music. What I do myself is having sessions where I just prepare material, play with sounds, create drums, make synth patches, but I don't do any of this stuff when I'm writing a tune. Yes, Queen. I just dive into my pre-made awesomeness and don't break my flow. That is such a good tip. If I start to overproduce while writing stuff, I might end up with a loop that I will never actually finish. Yeah, and I think that's 9 times out of 10 the issue that a lot of us fall into. Because there's two parts, and I learned this from who's the guy who played John Cleese, really well-known English comedian, actor. And even though this was advice from an actor or like writing scripts, it's also very applicable to music. And something that always stood out to me, what he said was, there is blue sky thinking phase, and that is where you can't poo-poo an idea. Like you're not allowed to disregard inspiration, some kind of creative inspiration, before you've allowed it to come to fruition. So if you're working with other people, no one's allowed to critique where someone's going with an idea until they've let it have a bit of room to grow. So you have like your blue sky thinking time. So that could be your creative time where you just like Meisha said there, that's when you're making your sounds. That's when you're in like flow state of like ideas, and I don't know, you might get drunk or whatever while you're doing that. And it's about, doesn't matter, just loads of just jamming basically. And then the other part of that would be editing phase. So editing will happen on another day, on a straight head. That's kind of like what I took from what Meisha said there. That's like the way that I look at it. Because I know that there's people who can like knock out a track and get it done within the day. That would be fun. That would be great if I could. And that would be, yeah, it's not happened yet. Finishing tunes is actually skill as well. You have to train how to solve some things, what kind of build up you're going to write, how many ways of doing it, arranging these practice too. Yeah. That's why I always recommend to new producers to make 100 tracks, no matter if they are good or not. But learn something new in every one, and in the end, it's all about practice. I saw too many people trying to have a banger on their first try. They are basically polishing a turd. So true. So true. Because there's so many wonderful mistakes that we make. I still make some of them. I'm still getting used to finishing my stuff. I mean, I used to have an engineer for a long time. I had different engineers, and I do it all myself now. And that in itself was scary, because my music that was pressed to vinyl, it all sounded amazing because professionals were doing it. So I had to, start from scratch, but it's very, very rewarding. And you don't want to skip any of that, because the mistakes are where all the good stuff is. Too many people will, mistakes, aka lucky accidents, but they are only lucky when you're already on a level where you recognise it's not a bug but a feature. Yes. Defo. And not to be afraid of making mistakes. And there were so many happy mistakes that have been made in production history as well, like the side chaining, distortion, saturation, that kind of thing. But the 303, because it didn't sell well as a baseline maker, did it? Yeah. And then people used it for things it wasn't intended for, i.e. the acid lines. There you go. Gated reverb, that's sidechain fraggers, yeah. And even the simplest things like messing around with your effects chain and the order that you put stuff in. And the good thing is now your doors are unbreakable in the sense that you can always put things back to a default setting. So just try stuff out. Don't listen to me if you've got hardware though. At least put a limiter on stuff so you don't blow your ears up. Years ago when I was learning synthesis for the first time, mainly on Alchemy, there were so many points where I would have just blown my ears off if I didn't have like limiters on everything. Like everything. Because I was just constantly... No, it's not so it's easier if it's like subtractive synthesis, but you can still get to stages where you might just put something in the wrong hole. You know, and end up like blowing your ears off by putting a fucking ozone distortion thing over something, and then all of a sudden you just can't hear anything anymore. Good thing about Renoise is your tracks are kind of pools of effect chains, and you can randomly play a sound in a track affected for synth or vocal, and then it sounds awesome, and then you can use it in a track. This cannot be done easily in regular DAWs. That sounds a bit like Reason, where you'd patch stuff. Hi, Erin. You'd be able to patch stuff in to different stuff and get weird effects and stuff. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. But yeah, welcome, Meisha. It's I'd love you to send us something in so we can have a listen. Yeah, you need to show me. You need to show me. I'd love to have you on the show at some point if you want to help us out. We've got Lab 4 on next week. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about being overwhelmed by all the possibilities, limitation breeds creativity. Limitation breeds creativity. I mean, look back at 8-track recordings. 8 channels. That was it. That's all you had. 8 tracks. Decision making. Do you really need that sound in? Yes or no? When in doubt, leave it out. Not being limitation breeds zero dynamics. But louder's better. Oh dear. Yeah, well, they've stopped that now, haven't they? They've stopped this whole loudness war. You're not headlining when you're not redlining. I think, is it true that I think on Spotify, if you send in something and it's above Lufus, whatever it is, like amount of dB, it will lower it for you, so your stuff can end up like sounding a lot lower in volume. And I think that started with Oasis, didn't it? Oasis, yeah, it is. But I think it started many years ago with Oasis, because they were the ones that all their tracks just seemed loads louder than everyone else's. Do you remember that on like jukeboxes and stuff? What a time to be alive. Oh. I always red light on my mixer, but I kind of am allowed to, because of the limiter that I have in my mixer, and because of the dynamics in playing vinyl and then going to CDJs. It just stops having massive volume changes. But yeah, usually, and in OBS it's really weird, because in OBS, red, being in the red is still up to minus 8 dB. Oh, speaking of which, we have our next song. Because someone mentioned metal there. And the next track that we're going to be listening to, this is really, really good tune. And it's Abyss Walker, who I've seen in the chat quite a lot, but I did not know that they made this kind of music. And I think Maish is going to enjoy this as well. Let's have a listen to this. I've also got a Bandcamp link for you guys if you want to go and support them or him as well. Okay, here we go.
Secret so severe.
OMG, am I right? Do you know what I'm going to do? Because it's not really doing it justice without the video. There's a video to this as well. There's a video to it. Let me just see if I can get it working through here. Control audio via OBS. Right, let me just see if I can get this working. Because it's so cool. Hang on. Can you hear that? No, why is it being weird? Hang on. I don't know why it's buffering. It shouldn't be. Hi, Petmeister. There we are. Was the sound doubling up on that? Because I just noticed that I had my desktop and I had the YouTube. It wasn't. Oh, thank God for that. Oh, it was a tight echo. It would make sense that there was a tight echo. 2 people have said no. Well, I hope it wasn't too noticeable. Because, yeah. Wasn't anything you noticed. That's good. I'll have to listen back. Okay, well, I really, really love that tune. Yeah. Well, I've just done it as well. But I really wanted you to see the video. What am I doing? Yeah, because how cool was that video? And no, that was a burp, fraggers. That's someone who watches our stream. I mean, I shouldn't get so, like, surprised anymore. Like, we've had, yeah, it looks really professional. I mean, this is Twitch for you. Deadmau5 has come in twice. We've had Kai Trussid in. These guys, like, this is why I love Twitch so much, because you never know who's going to pop in. And that's what I love about it. And I love the fact that they've wanted us to hear their track for the demo drop. Like, they've specifically sent it in for the demo drop. And that's amazing that our little corner of Twitch is getting, you know, people wanting to show off their work. And any genre is always welcome on here. But yeah, Abyss Walker. Thank you, mate. Like, I don't even know where to start with that musically. It was like, it's not easy to find a community of people you want to hang out if you are too popular. Like, this has always been a reason why I'm grateful. Yeah, hang out with, yeah. This is a reason I'm grateful for mainly doing genres that aren't, like, mainstream, because of exactly that reason. I love the fact that our community's small, but, like, well, in terms of Twitch, it's probably medium-sized. Ish. Small to medium. And I like it this way because I can still read the chat. Everyone still gets, you know, we all still know each other. That's what I love about it. And I love the fact that, you know, artists like these guys, these are the kinds, it doesn't matter what style of music you make. It depends on, for me, it's your intentions. What are your intentions as a producer? And I think that is what brings us all together, because we're all nerds in our own wonderful ways. We've all got amazing sense of humours. We've all been through a lot of shit. Not saying that that other people don't. I'm sure everyone does in their own ways, but it's kind of like this is like, you have to do it. You know, we have to create. Yeah, Rennie, you're even a part of this. You're a nerd. Like, it doesn't matter. Like I say, it's intentions, everything, isn't it? But yeah, I love our little corner of Twitch. Can I ask what mic interface you use? Looking for one to use. The one I use, I find it to be brilliant for this stuff. I have a different microphone for when I'm doing DJing. The one I'm using right now is an ATT 2020, I think. It's Audio Technica. It's a condenser mic. AT 2020. AT 2020. Yeah, they're brilliant. Trust me on the fact that I have done a lot of research. Obviously, don't trust me implicitly because it depends on your needs and stuff. But all I can tell you is I maybe spent 6 to 9 months researching microphones on the internet and found that this one was the best for. It's not USB. No, don't get a USB one if you can help it. Get an XLR, because it's much better quality than a USB. I'm not saying anything against USB. Again, it depends what you're using it for. Rennie uses USB. It's probably USB would be fine for you, Rennie. So an XLR interface, so you could get something like, I've now got a Focusrite. You can get like a 2-in, 2-out Focusrite audio interface. M Audio do really good ones. Get a Poundland microphone. Do you know what you can do? You could just shout real loud. Yeah. Just be aware that some of them you might need to use something called a cloud lifter or a FET head. A FET head. I think it's called a FET head anyway. It's a FET something. A cloud lifter or I think it is called a FET head. And basically, it's nothing to do with drugs. It boosts the signal of your XLR mic because sometimes it can be a bit low. But I don't need to use one. Oh, cool. Okay, so Rennie might have found a USB one that might work quite well. But yeah, I just find that, this one works really well for me. Yeah, it's got phantom power. Yeah. Is that like the 48-volt thing on the Focusrite? Yeah. Yeah. So you have one input that's got 48-volt phantom power if you need it or not. So my dynamic microphone, my SM58, they're brilliant because you can shout down them, you can speak in them at any angle, and it's fine. But if you want detail on the vocals, if you're using it for singing or up close mic talking like this, like mine, I've got it in a what they called, in a bed, whatever it is, and then it's got like a pop shield over it as well, and it does fine. But then of course you can always, if you want to add compression and stuff, you can always do that within OBS as well if you need to. Yeah, it might do, fraggers, but I need to know your setup first. But isn't your microphone going straight into your mixer? Meisha, me neither. I do tell people about them, but to be quite honest, I don't really trust OBS that much. I set it up for a friend of mine, so that she had with like a noise gate for her streams, and it was working. But then you update it and then everything's gone unless you've remembered to save anything. But even then, I don't think it saves into the JSON files. I don't think it saves like any of the audio plugin presets or whatever. No, Streamlabs isn't as good as OBS. Matt Edwards. No, I used to use Streamlabs, and I used to tell people to use Streamlabs. I did start on Streamlabs about 3 or 4 years ago, but OBS is much better because you have access to a lot more plugins. But again, it only depends on what you need it for. And if you're happy with Streamlabs, see, I was happy with Streamlabs, but then I outgrew it because there were certain things I wanted to do with other pieces of software. Like when I'm doing my streams, I've got like 4 or 5 pieces of software, and then if I'm doing all my graphics and stuff, I've got like Magic Music Visuals, and it needs like WebSockets, it needs NDI, OBS NDI for some stuff, you know, for the interactive stuff. So if you're not going deep like that and Streamlabs works, then that's fine. It's not made by the same people. The original software is made by a guy called Jim. Who I actually subscribe to him on Patreon, and he is open. It's what's called open source, so anyone can take the code for OBS and apply it to their own software. Yeah, if you use it for screen capturing, then that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. What I did with some streams is route audio into Renoise, use live audio input and affect it, and then send it to OBS. It worked, but it's kind of annoying workaround. Wow. Yeah, but you found a way. You found a way. That's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I just plug and play with my mic. Like for me, I don't really need to do anything else to it. And again, going back to what we were saying about microphones, this AT2020, I think it was 80 quid when I bought it during lockdown, and it's perfect out the box for my voice. So there's obviously like there's times when you might need to, like, you know, use plugins, and times where normally you probably wouldn't. As long as you've got a decent enough mic, you should be fine. But it all depends on your use. Technology again makes you look further. It's never ending. Do you know what? I love it. I love it. I spend all day, every day on my computer, and there's still stuff that I overlook. And like Rennie the other day helped me with I had an issue with WebSockets with the plugin because I'd updated OBS, and he just sorted it out for me straight away. I always have latency issues. Yes, my selector, what DAW are you using? Because there's do you mean delay compensation? Or latency issues is in like your buffer size? Sometimes ACO can give more problems than it fixes them. I'm just trying to look through. Kazumi, get something sent in. Get something sent in, and if it's not ready yet, I'll let you know. I wouldn't set you up for a fail. So send something in, and if it's ready to be listened to, and then we'll put it on. If it's not, then I'll give you some really helpful advice. Yeah, with buffer sizes, I'm using a USB mic at the moment. Maybe it's to do with that then. But you can change the buffer size in ACO for all. Make sure you've got the latest ACO for all as well. And yeah, make sure your drivers are updated. And if they are updated and you've now got an issue, you might need to roll back. This is look, and all of this is before anyone's fucking made a fucking tune. There's all of this other stuff to think about. Ah! And maybe, just maybe you might finish a track, and maybe, just maybe, at the end of that, someone might like it enough to buy it or put it on their label, but not likely. Oh, what a wonderful waste of time. I love it. Beats watching EastEnders. Rant over. Next up, we're going to listen to Touring D and The Coalition. This is currently untitled. Okay, it's called Toronation Street, apparently. Oh, we were. Okay, so guys, do yourselves a favour. Go and follow Torin right now on SoundCloud. So that is Torin and Nick together. I really like that. I love the, again, very techie side trance elements in there, banging trance. Amazing melody, counter melody, progression. Yeah, I loved it. And it's so nice that you guys are plinky plonk. I say plinky plonk. Yeah, plinky plonk. I got that from Guy because I used to use Guy's template when starting a new track in FL. And one of the template, like one of the names, because he'd have like kick, clap, rides, and then like he'd have plinky plonk, and I was like, what does plinky plonk mean? He goes, the twinkly bits. I'm like, oh yeah. I love you, please open. Can mods, can you just do a bit of a search please on cult? I think we might have a bot on our hands. This is why it's really important, guys, that you don't open links from strangers. A bit like not taking sweets from strangers. Yeah, I love you. Please open this weird link. Is it a bit.ly link? Ooh, I hope so. Oh. Oh. Bye, Colt. Bye. Ableton push 2 in scale mode. You can't hit a wrong note. Yeah. Maybe he was. The thing is, though, I think it's important, and you know this, Meisha, you sometimes just have to ban first and ask questions later. But yeah, I've seen things like that before, and that's why we don't allow links on the channel unless you're a VIP or a mod or me. Yeah, go on then. Can I? Oh, I'd love to have another virus. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that track other than the fact that I love it, and I love aspects, the things that I love about it. And again, like I said, it's nice that you guys are working again together. You can't ban me. No, we've tried to do this before. I had someone's ADHD meds once, and I came into my own chat while they were on the decks, and I couldn't stop talking. I was in my own chat just writing loads of shit, like loads of just waffle. I was like answering my own questions, and everyone was like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, fine." I'm just talking to myself again. I was like, just ban me, and they couldn't ban me. But yeah, that was a funny day. I'm gonna DDoS you all, yeah. What was I gonna say before we get onto that unit? Yeah, Microsoft Windows. I'm not on 11 on this PC. I went kicking and screaming to 10. I rolled back from 10 to begin with and went back to 7. Because I loved SP1, and before that I absolutely loved Windows XP, SP2. Yeah, AI is the future. So Unit says, what do you think about AI in music production? I hear it doesn't have that human touch.
Nah.
So it doesn't sound good as some great artists. I think it is only a matter of time and some machine learning. Yeah. I think it can have humanization because we can make humanization in many ways, in using velocity. I mean, there's in FL Studio, and I know there's other things that you can use in Ableton, like randomizers and stuff, where you can actually do better than you can with your own fingers. when you're playing chord progressions. A lot of us who are classically trained will fall into predictable progressions when it comes to chord progressions, bass progressions. And I do feel like Nick mentioned there about a scalar plugin, or Scalar 2 is a really good one, or just learning the circle of fifths. But in terms of AI, that was a burp, Fraggers, yeah. In terms of AI, I think it's the future. People would have had this conversation, and they did have this conversation when synths were invented, and there was a massive uproar with musicians, especially like the BBC sound libraries and all the sounds that you would hear on films and on commercials. A lot of musicians fell out of work when synths and computerized digital audio workstations became a thing. Meisha, you've took the words out of my mouth. Photography didn't kill painting. AI creations won't kill artists either. Exactly. We have to. You don't have to embrace it. You can resist it if you like, but you can use it to make music less predictable. And that's what I like about it, because up until now, music's been far too predictable. I don't think you'll ever take the element of the artist away from anything, because a really good way of describing it is, if you gave two people all of the same ingredients to make a lasagna, exactly the same ingredients, one of those people is me, who's all right at cooking but not that good, and then the other person is a Michelin star chef. So we both have exactly the same ingredients, we both use exactly the same equipment. However, their lasagna is absolutely going to come out a lot better than mine. And why is that? That's because of the 1% of your you-ness that you're putting in to whatever it is that you are creating. So you don't need to worry about that. People will follow. People are getting fed up with things sounding the same, and people are becoming more and more aware that the music that they're being fed comes from playlists that have been, told that, radios have playlists that they stick to. We all know that the DJ Top 100 is a load of bollocks now. Well, a lot of us do. If you don't know, then it is. And people are now, and artists more importantly, are finding ways to monetize themselves. We have Bandcamp, we have DistroKid, we have live streaming. You only need 1,000 hardcore fans, which is really doable. 1,000 hardcore fans to be able to make a living from music. And years ago, you'd need to be signed to a record label. You'd have a team, a PR team, you'd have an agent, you'd have a manager, you'd have a stylist. I used to have all of those things. And you don't have any control over that, but you also have a lot of outgoings as well. But you can do 20,000 hardcore members. I was just thinking that, but you just done it. You only need 1,000 hardcore fans. Stylist for what? I had a stylist for a few things. I had for photo shoots mainly, like when I did front covers of magazines and stuff. Really long time ago now. But they would help you with the whole PR stuff and getting you work. But that obviously still goes on. But the artists that have all of that, they also don't have any say over the music that they play. They're very, very reined in. Whatever they put on social media is vetted. They have to come in. Look at what happened to come on, brain. Avicii. Hi, huge big anus. Welcome in. With Avicii, it's such a sad situation. If someone who's very, very introvert didn't like all of this traveling and being taken away out of his environment, and that's what happens. It has got a dark side, but you can completely avoid all of that by taking back your power. And it's dangerous because, like, in the sense of, well, not dangerous, but it is scary because we're self-employed. But you have to trust in your ability and find different ways to monetize what you do. We probably should do a stream on this where we talk about this in more detail. I talked about this to as many people as I could during lockdown. Like the very first lockdown, I showed people how to get online, how to start monetizing themselves, being okay with donations and, getting people to subscribe to you and all that stuff. Because people want to support you and doing merchandise and things like that. So, yeah, Maisha, I'm sure you do. But you'll know this. You've been around for a long time and you've seen a lot. But we don't need to worry about getting on labels and, all that stuff quite so much anymore. So going back to what we were saying about AI, things starting to sound the same. I honestly think that you create enough false idols, people will start to go back to finding small communities, like we said before, where they feel that they belong, and they will be part of that. Maybe some people want to be part of bigger communities, which is also fine. But my God, there's enough people out there. There are enough people that are into your weird kind of music. There really are. There are enough people out there. You just need to be out there, shining a light, getting your music out there, live streaming, doing whatever it is you do. It's an obsession. Oh my goodness, Rennie. Oh, Rennie, thank you. You're welcome, Unit, and thank you for leading us up the garden path and down the rabbit hole, having a good conversation about that. Rennie, thank you for putting £12 into my Ko-fi. I massively appreciate that. I'll put that in while I put the next tune on. I really appreciate that, mate. You just reminded me I need to go and put some electric in the meter as well. I think we'll be all right until tomorrow. Oh, that's cool, Tripmunk. That is cool. I really appreciate that, Rennie. Can we all get loads of hearts up in the chat right now for Rennie? Love you, mate. But yeah, you only need a few. Even if you had 100 fans, right? If you had 100 fans who spent, I am so shit at maths. Okay, if you had 100 fans that spent £100 on you in a year, then you'd have £10,000. That's right, isn't it? It is. Is it? 100 fans, so it's 100 times 100. Yeah. Is it? Hang on, let me get my calculator. It's because there's so many zeros and I'm dyslexic. 10k. 100 times 100 equals 10 grand. Right. AI can work this shit out. I know, right? So, 10 grand. Do you know what is the best thing? And all of you need to fucking listen to this. Really, 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 really important. And this is something that we do. Well, Guy does. I will be doing it in the not too distant future. Guy's done 2 albums now through Kickstarter. Now, these albums, before he'd even done them, he got the funding for it. So I don't know if most of you will probably know what Kickstarter is. So you pledge the money. It's not just for the album. Like, you can make a physical album. It could just be a digital album. You could put it on a USB. You could add merch to it. You could add a studio day. But each time he makes around about £10,000 from this album, and then he sits and makes the album, and then when it's done, it gets shipped out. You wouldn't need to. I mean, if you really wanted to as well, you would be able to get someone else to do the shipping for the vinyl, like Rennie's just mentioned there. No, we've not looked into it yet. But you'd get it up front, so it would give you, like, at least if you have got to do full-time work, maybe you could use that money to have a year off work, or at least 6 months off work if you rein in your spending, and that will allow you to do that whole album without worrying about the money side of things. Honestly, you have to think of different ways that you can monetize yourself as an artist, and it's not that difficult. I haven't ever ghostwritten. No, I have engineered for people before, but it's not the same as ghostwriting. Guy's ghostwritten for some big names, and a lot of my other friends have ghostwritten for some very big names, but due to legal reasons, that can't be discussed. Rennie said something important. Where is it? Just go a bit deeper in the link scams happening now. When you click the link, download the program and run it, it grabs the web tokens from your web browsers and programs like Discord. The web tokens are the keys to logging onto sites without your username and password for open sessions at the time you run the program. So everything you have open and are logged, and they can access and go around the 2-factor security. In short, you are fucked. Is that what happened with the Discord? Your friends. Okay, guys, just remember, don't download things if you don't know what they are. Cool. And for people to be willing to pay you anything, they need to be in love with you, not just like your stuff. I think the model's changed now. I think what we have to do is we have to offer people stuff first and not expect to be paid. Like, that's how I do it. Like, with the demo drop thing, like, we've done this for nearly 3 years now, I think. And, like, I could just be doing my normal DJing thing on a Tuesday, but I choose not to. I like to do this because I live the community aspect of it. And it's not what you'd call monetarily viable to do it, but it doesn't matter to me because I do feel like it makes sense to me now that in this day and age, you can't expect, like you say, you can't expect people to just part with their money for no good reason. So I think if you can be a service to people, or if you can add some value, then naturally a lot of those people will say, okay, I'm going to chuck you some bits or subscribe to you or something. That's the way that I look at it. Legion's got a crowdfunded one going at the moment. Oh, cool. Yeah, you're building your brand in many ways. And that's why I think it's really helpful for us to have live streaming. Another really good angle is VR. Like I've done a few VR streams now. And the VR community, especially in Japan, is massive. Absolutely massive. Like I say, there's a big world out there. It's not just on Twitch. It's not just on YouTube. It's not just on TikTok, whatever the fuck you're on. It's on OnlyFans. That's right, Torin. Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, at least you could just like do OnlyFans, but have your music in the background and then just like spam the link to Bandcamp from there. Oh. Have you really, Torin? That's brilliant. I need to VIPs. I need to see that shit. Apparently I have really nice feet, and I've been told that I could be a foot model. I've added you as a VIP now, Torin. See, I can see your OnlyFans now. I've never actually been on OnlyFans. I do know Kerry Catone has got an OnlyFans. Dave told me. But yeah. Let's get on with the next track and then we can listen to Nick's cheesy song. No, we've got two. We've got two left first. Write the link on your arse cheeks, yeah. Okay, here we go. This next one is Extra Nox featuring Dope DOD, The Last of a Drying Breed.
This town, shit is dog-eat-dog. Ain't no love outside, or we breathe the smog. When the angels leave, you see the demons walk. You better watch your step, or you will get stepped on.
Here is to die for. Reaper and the sidewalk, kick your face in on the sidewalk. You don't have no fucking mercy. No motherfuckers here ain't worth it. I'm a guy like Percy Jackson. All y'all humans don't concern me. Like lightning quick, you try and bite my shit. Yeah, but I bite back, bitch. Oh yeah, you might get hit. See, you don't understand the concept. This life like Mortal Kombat. Rip a nigga head off, yet I keep that eye contact. Eye on eye, my spirit never die. I'm a human fly, laying tiny eggs in your mind. Keep the thought process. I move forward and progress. Everybody sound like me, go things just pour, I guess. Like the princess, stay fresh. Wake up, yeah, I slept. You standing in the minefield. One more step. No legs left. And I wish y'all the best. But I kick them down the steps. Y'all stay blessed.
Wake up, under all that makeup. Life is one ugly bitch, but we never break up. Stay up, they will never break us. We the last of a dying breed, yes indeed. Wake up, under all that makeup. Life is one ugly bitch, but we never break up. Stay up, they will never break us. We the last of a dying breed, yes indeed. I run this down and I need to gun them down. We got that thumping sound that'll make them jump and shout. What the fuck you want right now? I'm gonna watch your goddamn mouth. Gonna cut that bullshit out in the name of subs and clout. Take a look at slow your roll.
Why should you sell your soul for the ones that have control? Some with their shoulders cold to a place where no one goes, where the root of evil grows, where the face of greed will show as the truth that people know. So take a deep breath and reset. Don't regret, don't resent, don't reject. Mic check, 1, 2, fix that feedback. LASTOF, a dying breed, yeah we that. That dope shit, we bleed that. I think it's time to relapse.
Wake up, under all that makeup. Life is one ugly bitch, but we never break up. Stay up, they will never break us. We the last of a dying breed, yes indeed, yes indeed. Wake up, under all that makeup. Life is one ugly bitch, but we never break up. Stay up, they will never break us. We the last of a dying breed, yes indeed, yes indeed. Wake up, wake up.
Wow. So Extra Knox did the instrumental behind that. Yeah. It reminded me of, I don't know if you guys know a band called Jedi Mind Tricks. It was very, oh, there you are. Hi, darling. Yeah, I really like that. I love that instrumental that you've done behind it. It sounds amazing. Very hardstyle-esque. But yeah, the vocals reminded me of Jedi Mind Tricks, Vinnie Paz. Really, really cool, really different sounding, and it really worked well. And yeah, I'd love to hear you do like a hardstyle track or some hard trance, European hard trance. But yeah, it was really, really cool, really cool. Good snare. But yeah, I really, I've never heard of Dope DOD, but it seems that Kid Dynamo's heard of them. But yeah, it was great. The atmospherics in the beginning, great build up, and you allowed the vocal to be up front. I could hear everything in the vocal. It accompanied it really, really well. Great job. Thank you for sending it in, darling. Let me give you a shout out. Cheers, babes. Next up, we've got Astral Angel and EQ'd.
Trees late at night in our dreams. You never remember when we wake up all the things we do. All the things we do. I'm here to remind you that I'll see you tonight.
sweetest ending to a tune as well. Oh, I think that this might be like a radio edit or something. It's only 3 minutes, 12 seconds long. I'd have loved to have heard another drop of that, another chorus of that again. But yeah, what a lovely tune. Yeah, let's go back to the. Here we go.
Living in your dreams for years, it seems. Wonder why it took you so long. Know that I'm here to remind you that I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight in our dreams. And I know
Oh, yeah, I really, really like that. I am a musician, aren't I? Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the tax man. Like, you know. My party track. You mean my party trick? Which? Thanks. Yeah, I love this. I love this tune. I will be doing the sign language. Did you hear about that woman that just pretended that she could do it, and she just ended up like on there, like pretending to sign language? Oh, I can't remember the details of it, but it did happen. So this tune, beautiful. That vocal is so lovely. So lovely. And it production wise, perfect. Really, really well done. Really well done. And I really like that arrangement. Although it left me wanting more, I do understand that like this would probably be like for a Spotify playlist or something, or the radio edit, with it being 3 minutes 12. I'm just used to hearing things for a bit longer. But yeah, I really, really like that. I'd love to hear more of this. I'm not sure if Astral Angel is the name of the tune now, come to think of it, because Safi Resound is the SoundCloud link to follow if you want to go and show some support. Nick, have you got a SoundCloud that you want me to plug for you? If so, stick it in the chat, please. While I get your... Which one should we play out of the two that you sent me? So Nick sent me another tune. Where's my promos folder? There we are. It's barely... Well, do you want to... You sent me... We've got Taylor Swift. And Imagine Dragons. The Taylor Swift one, yeah. Yeah, because we talked about it earlier, didn't we? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is Taylor Swift, Anti-Hero. Nick Rowland remix.
exhausting, always rooting for the anti-heroes.
Take a bow. You know what? When you're an experienced producer, you can do things like this and pull it off successfully. Yeah. Banging indeed, touring. Honestly, do you know what the thing is? Like, you could take that vocal away from that track and that track would still be good. Like, it would still be a banger. And this is a trick that I think is a good idea for us all to do when you're doing a remix of a big known track. Sometimes by having the vocal in, it allows us to be a bit sloppy or a bit rushed with the rest of the track because the vocal will hide a lot of the mistakes. But if you can take the vocal out of the arrangement for a while and really get the rest of it sounding mint without get the track sounding mint without the vocal in, and then add the vocals back, then you've got a really good track there. Yeah, the vocals were subtle and it worked really well, yeah. I don't think I've ever heard the original. Like, this is my first hearing of that song. I know who Taylor Swift is, though. You remove the OG track and generate vocals with AI. Yes! There's an AI platform you can use now as well for vocals. It's a bit finicky, but it works for some stuff. Called Uberduck. Not Uberdruck, Uberduck. Lady Gaga's on there. Like, there's all kind. There's rappers on there. You can use the voice of what's his name? Who died? I know a lot of them have died, but Tupac. 2-pack. No. One about like old school. Uberduck it's called. Yeah. Oh, let me just get the link for you. Honestly, I've used it and I got let me see if I can find it. Let me just do a quick search. I got Lady Gaga to say my name. Hang on, Lady Gaga. Here we go. Okay, I forgot that I completely forgot that I'd done these. So this was what I got. I got Michael Jackson to say some stuff for my radio show. So, okay, I'll just go through them all. And I got one of Simon Cowell as well. Here we go. Sometimes they work better than others. So let's have a listen through together.
So awesome.
Hey, this is Lady Gaga. You are listening to the Amber D Show. This is Lady Gaga. Thank you for listening to the Amber D Show.
Hey, Michael Jackson here. Thank you for listening to the Amber D Show. This is Michael Jackson with Amber D on LLDC Radio.
Hello, this is Simon Cowell, and you are listening to the Amber D Show. Hello, this is Simon Cowell.
Sorry, I'd muted myself. Sorry. So I'd made those like ages ago. Thanks, Kieran. Good to see you again, mate. I made them years ago, but I just forgot about them until now. But it has a section in there where you can make it sing as well. So here is the link for it. Uberduck AI. It's got so many different text-to-speech, AI generated raps, all kinds of stuff. Again, it's just a really good way of getting something different in there, you know. But also, it's kind of scary because this means now that people can sound like they've said stuff that they haven't said. You know, with the whole deep fake stuff. Yeah, get onto AI while you can before it costs money. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those were the ones that I made a while ago for my radio show. And you've just prompted me to remember to use them. But yeah, it's cool, isn't it? There's actually a voice AI that is changing your voice live. Really? I'd love to know about that one. But yeah, there's so much cool stuff out there. And this is why I like doing this show, because we all get to share information that we've all got, you know, that the other person might not have. So ChatGPT is going to charge $5,000 a year soon to use. What's ChatGPT? I think some stuff will be still open source. I'd like to hope so, but you know, I'll listen to what you're saying there. I've never even heard of ChatGPT. I'm just having a look at it now. I've always loved text-to-speech engines. So that's cool. Hello, Lois. Yeah, well, it's yes, my selector. It goes very quickly, the chat, and you know, doing a lot of talking on here. Check this one out. Just skipping the video to see what is it. Let's have a look. GPT is a chatbot that can do your homework for you or write program. What? This is crazy.
Yeah, so I don't really know much about this one, but this is like a woman pop star.
And finally, we have Rick Sanchez. I haven't tested this one out at all, so we're going to see if this one sounds any good. I have no idea what this sounds like. I have no idea if this actually sounds anything close to Rick from the show Rick and Morty, which I'm sure everyone's heard about by now.
Okay, you guys have got to see this. Let me just pop this into the thing here.
Yeah, so I don't really know much about this one, but this is like a woman pop star.
And finally, we have Rick Sanchez. I haven't tested this one out at all, so we're gonna see if this one sounds any good. I have no idea what this sounds like. I have no idea if this actually sounds anything close to Rick from the show Rick and Morty, which I'm sure everyone's heard about by now. It is a very famous show, probably the biggest show actually those who has ever put out at this point. But you know, Rick classically has a very distinct voice, so it'd be interesting. Yeah, this one has always been pretty difficult for different voice applications to replicate and text-to-speech AI to replicate as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how well voice AI is going to be able to recreate Rick Sanchez's voice.
Okay, so now, folks, finally, you're listening to my real legit voice for once in this entire video. You guys haven't heard my voice at all so far, which is so crazy. So this is what my voice sounds like. You guys have plenty of audio, you know, out there. I was just thinking, you could use that voice.ai voice universe here if you wanted to completely recreate my voice as well. You could go rip it from a bunch of videos if you wanted, and yeah, recreate my voice, I suppose, which would be really funny and interesting. But here's the record mode. So this is typically the highest quality possible output. So if I record something with Rick Sanchez here, it's going to get processed. You can only record up to 15-second clips, which is really weird. Or you can generate from a file. I don't know if the files can be longer than 15 seconds, but yeah, you can create some very interesting things here. So we'll go ahead here and we'll test out Rick Sanchez. Do I sound like Rick Sanchez?
So we'll go ahead here and we'll test out Rick Sanchez. Do I sound like Rick Sanchez?
Voice.ai.
Okay, that's pretty good. Honestly, that is a pretty good little voice change right there. His voice is a little bit higher than Rick Sanchez. I wonder if I try to make my own voice a little bit deeper, if it will actually work and really make a more accurate Rick voice. But honestly, that's not too bad. That really is not too bad. Definitely a better Rick transformation.
Hello, everybody. Do I sound like Rick Sanchez?
Wow. Wow. There you go. And this is why knowledge is power, and this is why I love doing this show. How amazing. And that was called, that's voice.ai. Let me just bookmark this right now. Voice.ai. Wow. Yeah, I'm downloading that now. That's amazing. That truly is. So yeah, you'd be able to do whatever you want with that within your music, jingles. Doesn't work on Windows 7. Oh, hey Sweary Princess. How you doing? How are you? Thanks for joining us. Thank you for all the follows as well, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like, how cool's that? So why is it becoming really expensive to use it in the future? That's what I want to know. Why? Oh, I guess because they get you to use the product first. And then when you get, oh, because it's being tested. Okay. Wow. But yeah, like, we can all go back away now and just, you could have like an intro for something. Yeah, and then when everyone wants it, the price goes mental. Okay, so we all know what we're going to be doing tonight. Oh, I'm glad that you're okay, Sweary Princess. Yeah, it'll be the norm. Yeah, I believe that's true as well, Maisha. I really do. I think you're right. We're feeding the machine. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Oh, have you, Rennie? Well, you could have mentioned it to me. Maybe you did. I don't know. What's my thoughts on producers sampling other producers' records, or worse, ripping them off? I think there's nothing wrong with sampling. There's a difference between sampling and ripping off someone's work, though. Most people sample, or they use samples from things. That's not a problem. Sometimes people can make a riff and subconsciously not be aware that that riff has already been made. Yeah, everything's a remix. Everything is a remix. So there's that aspect of it. And a lot of the time people share MIDI files of well-known riffs of tracks as well. I think it's quite sad that Roman's been kind of witch hunted a bit with what's happened with Mike. I know Mike personally, though. He's probably pissed off because it won't be the first time this has happened. I do feel like it's probably an honest mistake. Like, I don't know the original track myself. I might know it if I heard it, but I don't know a lot about it. But my opinion is, if you know that it's someone else's riff, don't use it. Change it. Which you'll, you know, I don't think Roman would have meant to have done it. I do think it was an honest mistake. And he is taking it down off the stores and stuff. So, I don't know. It's not my... That wasn't my situation. So, I don't really have a lot to say. I just think it's sad when two people that I like their music of, are having an altercation publicly. So, but if that's the way that Mike wanted to do it, maybe it sets an example to other people not to do it, you know, so it can have a good ending to it. I love Roman though. I love his music, and will continue to play it. And also the same with Mike as well. But yeah, everyone uses something. Everyone samples from each other. Everyone uses MIDI for ideas. But yeah, I don't think it's right to use a complete riff. It's a bit lazy. Hello, Craig. How you doing, mate? But like I said, I don't think he would have done that on purpose. So I'm going to bookmark all of that so I can do some AI stuff over the coming days. Hi, Ollie. Thank you, everyone. I'm off tomorrow because tomorrow was my only day off. Tomorrow I will be psychonauting around the world. Not the world, astroplaning. I won't even be in this world. So is it okay to sample your sound? Yeah. I'm thinking about Beautiful Lies. I haven't made a song called Beautiful Lies. You might mean Beautiful Illusion. And if you wanted to sample it, you'll have to ask the record label that it belongs to, which is Tidy. So it depends how much of it you're using and what you're doing. Like if you're using like a kick out of it or something, then go ahead. But you do what you want. I'm not going to stop you. Oh, you're talking to Meisha. Oh, okay, that's fine. Ah, I know that one. But yeah, everyone samples things from everyone. Everyone borrows things from everyone else. So don't you worry about it. So thank you guys. I won't see you tomorrow, but I'll see you on Thursday. What are we doing on Thursday? I'm not sure yet. So let's go and say hello to Lily J. Hang on. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Torin. Thank you, little baby Jesus. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Meisha, for the raid. Thank you, everyone who's raided. There were a few. Yeah, let's go and see her. And I'll catch you all on the other side. Thank you, Torin. Thank you, Tripmunk. Thank you, Cookie. Thank you, everyone. Love you. Bye. Bye, Swery Princess. Bye, Kid Dynamo. Bye, Cray. Bye, Viper Star. Bye, Matt. Bye, Lois Lane.